The secret to money. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. The secret was a real transformation for me because I grew up with a very negative father who thought that rich people were people that had ripped everyone off and thought that anyone that had money must have deceived somebody. So I grew up with a lot of beliefs about money. That if you had it, it made you bad. Only evil people have money, and money doesn't grow on trees. Who do you think I am, Rockefeller? That was one of his favorite phrases. So I grew up truly believing that life was difficult. It was only when I met W. Clement Stone that I began to shift my life. When I was working with Stone, he said, I want you to set a goal that's so big that if you achieved it, it would blow your mind. And you would know it's only because of what I've taught you that you would have achieved this goal. At the time, I was making about $8,000 a year. So I said, I want to make $100,000 in a year. Now, I had no idea how I could do that. I saw no strategy, no possibility, but I just said, I'm going to declare that. I'm going to believe it. I'm going to act as if it's true and release it, so I did that. One of the things he taught me was every day to close your eyes and visualize the goals as if it's already achieved. I had actually made a $100,000 bill that I'd put on the ceiling. So first thing in the morning, I'd look up and there it was, and it would remind me that this was my intention. Then I would close my eyes and visualize having these $100,000 a year lifestyles. Interestingly enough, nothing major happened for about 30 days. I didn't have any great breakthrough ideas. No one was offering me more money. About 4 weeks into it, I had a $100,000 idea. It just came right into my head. I had a book I had written, and I said, if I can sell 400,000 copies of my book at a quarter each, that'd be $100,000. Now, the book was there, but I never had this thought. One of the secrets is that when you have an inspired thought, you have to trust it and act on it. I didn't know how I was going to sell 400,000 copies. Then I saw the National Enquirer at the supermarket. I had seen that millions of times and it was just background, and all of a sudden it jumped out at me as foreground. I thought, if readers knew about my book, certainly 400,000 people would go out and buy it. About 6 weeks later, I gave a talk at Hunter College in New York to 600 teachers, and afterward a woman approached me and said, that was a great talk. I want to interview you. Let me give you my card. As it turns out, she was a freelance writer who sold her stories to the National Enquirer. The theme from The Twilight Zone went off in my head, like, whoa, this stuff's really working. That article came out and our book sales started to take off. The point I want to make is that I was attracting into my life all these different events, including this person. To make a long story short, I did not make $100,000 that year. We made $92,327. But do you think we were depressed and saying, this doesn't work? No, we were saying, this is amazing. So my wife said to me, if it works for 100,000, do you think it'd work for 1,000,000? And I said, I don't know. I think so. Let's try it. My publisher wrote me a royalty check for our first chicken soup for the Soul Book, and he actually put a smiley face in his signature because it was the first $1,000,000 check he'd ever written. So I know from my own experience, I wanted to test it. Does this secret really work? We put it to the test. It absolutely worked, and now I live my life from that every single day. The knowledge of the secret and the intentional use of the law of attraction can be applied to every single subject in your life. It is the same process for everything you want to create, and the subject of money is no different. To attract money, you must focus on wealth. It is impossible to bring more money into your life when you are noticing you do not have enough, because that means you are thinking thoughts that you do not have enough. Focus on not enough money, and you will create untold more circumstances of not having enough money. You must focus on the abundance of money to bring that to you. You have to emit a new signal with your thoughts, and those thoughts should be that you currently have more than enough. You really do need to call your imagination into play and make believe you already have the money you want. And it is so much fun to do. You will notice as you pretend and play games of having wealth that you feel instantly better about money, and as you feel better about it, it will begin to flow into your life. The blank check is for you, and it is from the Bank of the Universe. You fill in your name, the amount, and details, and place it in a prominent place where you will see it every day. When you look at the check, feel the feelings of having that money now. Imagine spending that money, all the things you will buy, and the things you will do. Feel how wonderful that is. Know it is yours, because when you ask, it is. We have received hundreds of stories from people who have brought huge sums of money to them using the secret check. It's a fun game that works. Attract abundance. The only reason any person does not have enough money is because they are blocking money from coming to them with their thoughts. Every negative thought, feeling, or emotion is blocking your good from coming to you, and that includes money. It is not that the money is being kept from you by the universe, because all the money you require exists right now in the invisible. If you do not have enough, it is because you are stopping the flow of money coming to you, and you are doing that with your thoughts. You must tip the balance of your thoughts from lack of money to more than enough money. Think more thoughts of abundance than of lack, and you have tipped the balance. When you need money, it is a powerful feeling within you. And so, of course, through the law of attraction, you will continue to attract needing money. I can speak from experience about money, because just before I discovered the secret, my accountants told me that my company had suffered a major loss that year, and in 3 months it would be history. After 10 years of hard work, my company was about to slip through my fingers. And as I needed more money to save my company, things just got worse. There seemed no way out. Then I discovered the secret, and everything in my life, including the state of my company, was totally transformed because I changed the way I was thinking. As my accountants continued to fuss about the figures and focus on that, I kept my mind focused on abundance and all being well. I knew with every fiber of my being that the universe would provide, and it did. It provided in ways I could not have imagined. I had my moments of doubt, but when the doubt came, I immediately moved my thoughts to the outcome of what I wanted. I gave thanks for it. I felt the joy of it, and I believed. I want to let you in on a secret to the secret. The shortcut to anything you want in your life is to be and feel happy now. It is the fastest way to bring money and anything else you want into your life. Focus on radiating out into the universe those feelings of joy and happiness. When you do that, you will attract back to you all things that bring you joy and happiness, which will not only include an abundance of money, but everything else you are wanting. You must radiate out the signal to bring back what you want. As you radiate out those feelings of happiness, they will be sent back to you as the pictures and experiences of your life. The law of attraction is reflecting back your innermost thoughts and feelings as your life. Focus on prosperity. I can imagine what a lot of people are thinking. How can I attract more money into my life? How can I get more of the green stuff? How can I get more of wealth and prosperity? How can I, when I love my job, deal with the credit card debt that I have, and the realization that maybe there's a ceiling on the money that can come in because it's coming to me through my job? How can I bring in more? Intended. This goes back to one of the things we've been talking about throughout the whole secret. Your job is to declare what you would like to have from the catalog of the universe. If cash is one of them, say how much you would like to have. I would like to have $25,000 unexpected income within the next 30 days, or whatever it happens to be. It should be believable for you. If you have held thoughts in the past that the only way money can come to you is through your job, then let that go immediately. Can you appreciate that as you continue to think that it must be your experience? Such thoughts do not serve you. You are now coming to understand that there is abundance for you, and it is not your job to work out how the money will come to you. It is your job to ask, to believe you are receiving, and feel happy now. Leave the details to the universe on how it will bring it about. Bob Proctor says most people have a goal of getting out of debt. That will keep you in debt forever. Whatever you're thinking about, you will attract. You say, but it's get out of debt. I don't care if it's get out or get in. If you're thinking debt, you're attracting debt. Set up an automatic debt repayment program and then start to focus on prosperity. When you have a pile of bills that you have no idea how you are going to pay, you cannot focus on those bills because you will continue to attract more bills. You have to find a way that works for you to focus on prosperity despite the bills around you. You have to find a way of feeling good so you can bring your good to you. James Ray says so many times people say to me, I'd like to double my income in the next year. But then you look at their actions and they're not doing the things that are going to make that happen. They'll turn right around and they'll say, I can't afford that. Guess what? Your wish is my command. If the words, I can't afford it, have passed your lips, your power to change that is now. Change it with, I can afford that. I can buy that. Say it over and over. Become like a parrot. For the next 30 days, Make it your intention that you are going to look at everything you like and say to yourself, I can afford that. I can buy that. As you see your dream car drive past, say, I can afford that. As you see clothes you love, as you think about a great vacation, say, I can afford that. As you do this, you will begin to shift yourself, and you will begin to feel better about money. You will begin to convince yourself that you can afford those things. And as you do, the pictures of your life will change. Lisa Nichols, when you focus on lack and scarcity and what you don't have, you fuss about it with your family, you discuss it with your friends, you tell your children that you don't have enough. We don't have enough for that. We can't afford that. Then you'll never be able to afford it because you begin to attract more of what you don't have. If you want abundance, if you want prosperity, then focus on abundance. Focus on prosperity. The spiritual substance from which comes all visible wealth is never depleted. It is right with you all the time and responds to your faith in it and your demands on it. Now that you know the secret, when you see someone who is wealthy, you will know that that person's predominant thoughts are on wealth and not on scarcity, and that they have drawn wealth to them. Whether they did it consciously or unconsciously, they focused on thoughts of wealth, and the universe moved people, circumstances, and events to deliver wealth to them. The wealth that they have, you have also. The only difference between you and them is that they thought the thoughts to bring the wealth to them. Your wealth is waiting for you in the invisible, and to bring it into the visible, think wealth. David Shermer, when I first understood the secret, every day I would get a bunch of bills in the mail. I thought, how do I turn this around? The law of attraction states that what you focus on you will get. So I got a bank statement, I whited out the total, and I put a new total in there. I put exactly how much I wanted to see in the bank. So I thought, what if I just visualized checks coming in the mail? So I just visualized a bunch of checks coming in the mail within just 1 month. Things started to change. It is amazing. Today I just get checks in the mail. I get a few bills, but I get more checks than bills. Since the film The Secret was released, we have received hundreds and hundreds of letters from people who have said that since watching the film they have received unexpected checks in the mail. And it happened because as they gave their focus and attention to David's story, they brought checks to them. A game I created that helped shift my feelings about my pile of bills was to pretend that the bills were actually checks. I would jump for joy as I opened them and say, more money for me. Thank you. Thank you. I took each bill, imagined it was a check, and then I added a zero to it in my mind to make it even more. I got a notepad and wrote at the top of the page, I have received. And then I would list all the amounts of the bills with an added zero. Next to each amount I would write, thank you, and feel the feelings of gratitude for receiving it, to the point where I had tears in my eyes. Then I would take each bill, which looked very small compared to what I had received, and I would pay it with gratitude. I never opened my bills until I had got myself into the feeling that they were checks. If I opened my bills before convincing myself they were checks, my stomach would churn when I opened them. I knew that the emotion of the churning in my stomach was powerfully bringing more bills. I knew I had to erase that feeling and replace it with joyful feelings so I could bring more money into my life. In the face of a pile of bills, that game worked for me, and it changed my life. There are so many games you can create, and you will know what works best for you by the way you feel inside. When you make believe, the results come fast. Laurel Langmeyer, a financial strategist, speaker, and personal and corporate coach I grew up on. You have to work hard for money. So I replaced that with, money comes easily and frequently. Now in the beginning it feels like a lie, right? There is a part of your brain that will say, oh you liar, it's hard. So you have to know it's this little tennis match that will go on for a while. If you have had thoughts of, I have to work really hard and struggle to have money, let them go immediately. By thinking those thoughts you emitted that frequency, and they became the pictures of your life experience. Take Laurel Langmeyer's advice and replace those thoughts with, money comes easily and frequently. When it comes to creating wealth, wealth is a mindset. It's all about how you think. Laurel Langmeyer, I'd say 80% of the coaching that I do with folks is about their psychology and the way they think. I know when people say, oh, you can do it, I can't. People have the capability to change their inner relationship and conversation with money. The good news is that the moment you decide that what you know is more important than what you have been taught to believe, you will have shifted gears in your quest for abundance. Success comes from within, not from without. You have got to feel good about money to attract more to you. Understandably, when people do not have enough money, they do not feel good about money because they don't have enough. But those negative feelings about money are stopping more money coming to you. You have got to stop the cycle, and you stop it by starting to feel good about money and being grateful for what you have. Start to say and feed, I have more than enough. There is an abundance of money, and it's on its way to me. I am a money magnet. I love money and money loves me. I am receiving money every day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Give money to receive money. Giving is a powerful action to bring more money into your life, because when you are giving, you are saying, I have plenty. It will not be surprising to you to learn that the wealthiest people on the planet are the greatest philanthropists. They give away vast amounts of money, and as they give, by the law of attraction, the universe opens up and floods vast amounts of money back to them, multiplied. If you are thinking, I don't have enough money to give, bingo. Now you know why you don't have enough money. When you think you don't have enough to give, start giving. As you demonstrate faith in giving, the law of attraction must give you more to give. There is a big difference between giving and sacrificing. Giving from a heart that is overflowing feels so good. Sacrificing does not feel good. Don't confuse the two, they are diametrically opposed. One emits a signal of lack, and the other emits a signal of more than enough. One feels good, and one does not feel good. Sacrifice will eventually lead to resentment. Giving from a full heart is one of the most joyous things you can do, and the law of attraction will grab hold of that signal and flood even more into your life. You can feel the difference. I find so many people who make a tremendous amount of money, but their relationships stink. And that's not wealth. You can go after the money and you might get rich, but it doesn't guarantee you'll be wealthy. I'm not suggesting that money isn't a part of wealth. It absolutely is. But it's only a part. And then I meet a lot of people who are spiritual, but they're sick and broke all the time. That's not wealth either. Life is meant to be abundant in all areas. If you have been brought up to believe that being wealthy is not spiritual, then I highly recommend you read the Millionaires of the Bible series by Catherine Ponder. In these glorious books, you will discover that Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, and Jesus were not only prosperity teachers, but also millionaires themselves, with more affluent lifestyles than many present-day millionaires could conceive of. You are the heir to the kingdom. Prosperity is your birthright, and you hold the key to more abundance in every area of your life than you can possibly imagine. You deserve every good thing you want, and the universe will give you every good thing you want, but you have to summon it into your life. Now you know the secret. You have the key. The key is your thoughts and feelings, and you have been holding the key in your hand all of your life. Many people in Western culture are striving for success. They want the great home. They want their businesses to work. They want all these outer things. But what we found in our research is that having these outer things does not necessarily guarantee what we really want, which is happiness. So we go for these outer things thinking they're going to bring us happiness, but it's backward. You need to go for the inner joy, the inner peace, the inner vision first, and then all of the outer things appear. Everything you want is an inside job. The outside world is the world of effects. If S just the result of thoughts. Set your thoughts and frequency on happiness. Radiate the feelings of happiness and joy within you, and transmit that into the universe with all of your might, and you will experience true heaven on earth. Secret summaries. 1. To attract money, focus on wealth. It is impossible to bring more money into your life when you focus on the lack of it. 2. It is helpful to use your imagination and make believe you already have the money you want. Play games of having wealth and you will feel better about money. As you feel better about it, more will flow into your life. 3. Feeling happy now is the fastest way to bring money into your life. 4. Make it your intention to look at everything you like and say to yourself, I can afford that. I can buy that. You will shift your thinking and begin to feel better about money. 5. Give money in order to bring more of it into your life. When you are generous with money and feel good about sharing it, you are saying, I have plenty. 6. Visualize checks in the mail. 7. Tip the balance of your thoughts to wealth. Think wealth.